We have so many thoughts every single day. We have 55,000 thoughts, give or take, a day. And about 75% of them are negative, full of uncertainty or full of ambiguity or judgment towards ourselves, towards others. And when you think about it, that's so much space that is occupied in our brain with unpleasant, negative thoughts and emotions, right?
We all experience behavioral health, and so I think the first thing we all want to acknowledge is that this is a normative part of life.
Mental health is health, and so things that we do to improve our health are critical to ensuring that our physical and our mental health are taken care of.
The entire theoretical perspective that I work from on emotions is that emotions are good for us, they're functional, that they are guideposts to what we're experiencing, and they can give us clues about how to handle those situations effectively. Clearly, we all know that sometimes those emotions don't guide us in the right directions. They can also be mismatched to the modern world.
And often we'll turn to things online or our friends, and we'll try and mimic those things and say, well, the exact way to be is I see my friend eating these things or moving their body in this way, and so the only way to be healthy is to do that. And that's not actually true.
So thanks to some researchers such as Barbara Fredrickson and Michelle Tugati, there's a growing recognition that psychological well-being isn't just about getting rid of distress. It's about thriving. It's about having positive engagement emotionally with your world.
So a little bit of anxiety is said to be a good thing if it helps you concentrate or focus on what it is you're trying to accomplish. But when it overloads your system and goes to the extreme direction, then you begin to have challenges. So yes, a little bit of stress makes people stronger.
So I never want this message to be always be happy no matter what, or you're required to feel positive emotion no matter what the circumstances are. A healthier version is that no matter what situation we're in, while acknowledging that situations can be very difficult, there's almost always a resource that we have, a way it could have been worse, or some way that we can grow.
But we know some tried and true things are necessary. 1, sleep is critical for well-being. It's critical for mental health. 2, moving your body in some way is critical for health and critical for mental health. And 3, connections with others. The more isolated we can feel, the more challenging it is to take care of your mental health. It doesn't mean you have to have tons of friends. It doesn't mean you need to talk to someone on a deep level every day. It does mean that as humans, we mostly need to connect with someone in some way, whether that's literally in person with them, whether that's online, so that they know I'm there and I know that they're there.
So one strategy for regulating distress during really stressful times is called savoring. It is basically taking a pause. It can be 30 seconds, it can be 5 minutes, it can be an hour if you have that luxury. But it's just setting aside some time to put yourself in a situation where what you're experiencing is pleasant and enjoyable in a healthy and mindful way, not rushing through it, but just sitting with it and allowing your body and your mind to experience it.
One of the ways to practice mindfulness, especially when you're feeling anxious or ungrounded, is to do something that is called a 5 senses meditation. It's where you look around the room and you engage all of your senses. So you look for 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can, what are the other senses? All right, so let's try that again. 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. And what this can do is it can bring you back down into the present moment. We're often thinking about the past, which is rumination, or worried about the future, which is anxiety. And so little time is spent in the present. And the present is really the only time that we have any type of autonomy over, where we can make the choices that will help us succeed, not just in the distant future, but in the very near future as well.